Body bags, where horror lies.
Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And today I decided to bring you an older Ty West movie. I was saying older Ty West movie. I kind of had a check on IMDb what kind of, apart from that Western, like that's the last one I heard of. I noticed he's been doing a lot of TV stuff, which is kind of a little bit sad. Let's hope he gets back into the world of movies, because I quite like some of his movies. The Sacrament, like, I really enjoyed that. Like House of the Devil and things. But anyway, this is my review of Innkeepers. So it's a film that I've not seen for like, how old's the movie? 10 years now. Maybe close to 10 years. It's been quite a long time. My kind of lasting memory of it was that I wasn't thrilled and found it a little bit boring, but it's been such a long time that I just fancied giving it another go. So, where is it? What state in Vermont? Or I can't remember which state it's set in. But we have two people working at it's a hotel that's actually closing down. This is its last weekend open. And our main characters we have are Claire and Luke. And these guys are kind of very amateurish ghost hunters. Yeah, they're into like paranormal and things like that. That's they're into, that they enjoy. And you have this, apparently there's a ghost at this hotel. It's Madeline O'Malley, I think the name was. And apparently Luke has seen this ghost once before. So yeah, they're kind of setting up. There's just this one mom and kid that's in the hotel. Yeah, they're like the kind of the last residents for the weekend, and there's one other person coming in. Kelly McGillis. Yeah, from Top Gun fame and many other movies. She's an old movie actress, but she's actually turned psychic. Yeah. So, but she comes a little bit later anyway. So we're kind of watching our two like main characters. So Claire and Luke, like I said, they're like into the paranormal and that. And, they're desperate to get something on tape. They've got all these like sound recordings and stuff like that. They've got their own website set up and things. Claire is like super excited. She's like this quite young girl. She comes across very young, like her character. Characters kind of feel a little bit of the time. Like she's a bit, no, I'm not going to go into that. No, that's kind of, you always get a certain style around, well, you don't always, but it's common to get a certain style of characters or shooting or storytelling around certain periods of time. And this feels like that period of time with how these characters are, but the story's quite good. So yeah, she's getting super excited. She's all wound up and she's getting jumpy. She's got asthma. She's going to take her asthma inhaler to calm her down, like stuff like that. Luke's kind of like a little bit older. He's a little bit more laid back. Doesn't give a shit about a lot of things. His attitude's a bit like, nah. But he's into this supernatural, these supernatural events that he does like. He's into that. He enjoys that. So, yeah, they're kind of like trying to find the ghost, Madeline O'Malley. So there's a couple of like instances like where Claire is super excited to meet and see our character. I can't remember her name, of Kelly McGillis, and she's a bit of a bitch really to Claire. She's just this really excited young girl, and yeah, she's a bit of a bitch, but they end up having like a couple of conversations, and she's apologizing to how she was. And that's when she kind of reveals that what she does now, that she's a psychic. And so that she had a kind of a bit of a reading on the house, and she's like, don't go in the basement. So what it is that she kind of clairvoyant, she can see a little bit of the future. It starts to unwind a little bit now, but she doesn't see things very clearly. Whoops. So she's like, don't go in the basement, it's bad in there. And she's like, there's spirits here and they're like angry. So that's what she's interpreting. So of course Claire wants to go down there. Obviously there's all these bits and pieces going on, like more bumps. There's a couple of instances where she sees stuff. There's like 1 or 2 jump scares. This is good that this film doesn't have many. And there's one that's very of it's like, just turn around and move away and there's just this weird looking kid. There's only one of those scenes, you know, like the ghost child that's just standing there. So there's that one scene of that, but it's just Claire that sees this. It's just happening to her. Like Luke's they're in different rooms and stuff like that. Yeah, then we get another character that comes, an older guy, that he, I think he got married there, or his honeymoon was there, or something like that, from his wife, but his wife died, and he just wants the same room. Now, the room that he wants, the whole floor is shut down, because there's only one floor that they're operating. This is the last weekend, but there he gets his way, and he goes to stay in the room that he wants to. And yeah, so like more stuff's going on. Luke and Claire get drunk this one night and he kind of almost confesses his love for her, but she doesn't really notice. Yeah, because he's in love with her and she doesn't really notice that. She's just too oblivious to it all. Yeah, so they want to go down in the basement and they're down there and Claire can hear stuff. She can hear Madeline O'Malley, but Luke can't. But he's getting super freaked out down there and he's just like, fuck, I just don't want this. I've got to go, sort of thing. Yeah, I'm going. And then he just leaves. And kind of leaves her and that freaks her out a bit. She gets a bit upset, but later he comes back because she's seen all these ghost things, of course. She's like, thinks she can hear all these different things. She's getting like super freaked out now. But she wants to stay, she wants to see, she wants to connect with Madeline O'Malley, she wants to talk to her. Luke comes back, he's like kind of all apologetic and that. And so then it kind of really like kicks up, sort of thing. It's like Claire's there, not Claire, yeah, well Claire is there, but it's the Kelly McGillis's character. She's like, okay, this is really bad. She does this reading and she's like, you have to get out of the house now, something's really bad. So she's kind of to the point where she knows that it's imminent, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And she's like, we have to get out of the hotel right now. So this is when like Luke comes back and he's like, you got to get out now. But Claire, she remembers when that the guy is there, so the older guy. So she goes up to the hotel room and knocking on the door, and he's in the bath and he's actually committed suicide. So she's hugely traumatic. It's like a really gruesome scene. But then she's trying to get out. She can still hear lots of things, and like she sees the ghost, the spirit of this guy, this dead guy, and she's like, oh, it's all linked to the house. And she gets down into the basement, and she like the guy's following her in there, and he's like right behind her and stuff like that, and she's kind of massively freaking out. And then it stops. Again, it's a huge spoilers now. Then we have police there and medics and stuff like that, and then they wheel this body out, and then the police just take a look at it, and it's Claire, and can't really see her too clearly. Her hair's kind of covering her face, but you know it's her. And it's like, shit, what happened? And this is the interesting part about the film. Like, you can take it as you will. So she actually died of a huge asthma attack. She didn't have her inhaler. She's been puffing on it throughout the whole film, but she didn't have it there. And it's kind of like how Ty West puts it. It's like she had a massive asthma attack due to be panicked so much, and that maybe this is how I kind of think about how the film is, that because it's only her that sees it, that there were no ghosts. She was so wound up and so excited that her mind was playing tricks on her, that she thought she was seeing and hearing things that, well, not even seeing things, she's hearing things the whole time. You're seeing that boy ghost and that. But the being so wound up at the end, they're having to get out the hotel because it's not safe, and that then she sees the dead body and it just tips her over the edge and she just completely panics. But this is where maybe the Kelly McGillis's character, like, she had that foresight. She could see that there's something bad that's going to happen, but she just didn't know what. But she maybe knew that it was going to be Claire that died somehow. Not that it was ghosts, but it was some sort of kind of natural cause, just an asthma attack. And it's kind of a pretty sad ending to the film, but it can be interpreted kind of how you want to. You can believe how Claire was, that she saw all these ghosts and that, or it's because how it was, how subtle it was, that I was starting to think that. And then when how it all finished at the end, it's like, well, yeah, it's just in her head. But we get the very last scene of the film, kind of looking at this room, and then suddenly the door slams shut. I was one of those maybe trying to add just a little bit of a jump scare at the end. Is that a bit of a studio thing? It's kind of didn't quite fit, or is it kind of like alluding to that it was haunted, or it's like maybe it's now haunted by Claire? It's like, yeah, it's just kind of left open, but it shows that paranormal kind of ending at the end. Kind of wish they hadn't done that. It kind of, yeah, I preferred how it was very open-ended, that you could easily pick two ways, and you still could, but maybe there's a bit of a studio interference at the end. But anyway, that's kind of went a little bit kind of more into that than I was going to. I was kind of just going to do a bit of a normal light run through. I kind of went a little bit step by step, not quite as stuff I missed out, but yeah, there we go. That's the film, and it's quite good, actually. It is quite good. It's better than I remembered. Yeah, it has maybe some pacing issues, but if you're invested in it, it's like it's not boring. It's just that's the pace of the movie, and if you're getting really invested in it, it kind of builds quite well. It's kind of like you don't have the excitement and frenetic pace of Claire, but you gain the kind of the paranormal side when she does, and it's like you gain it at her pace and you gain it at the level that she gains it. So it's kind of interpretation as to how you kind of watch the film, whether you're kind of getting all excited with Claire and believing all these things, or you stepping back and watching it and it's like, well, she's just all excited and scared. But anyway, that's the end of the movie. That's the end of the review. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.